Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor Ipshita Bansal from BPS Women's University, Sonipat, Haryana. Today we will be discussing about the module Manpower Development and Career Concerns of the paper Strategic Human Resource Management. After reading this module, students will be able to understand the concept of career management and development, strategic process of career development and succession planning. Human resource development and career concerns is a decisive step taken by an establishment to promote growth and evolution of its staff. It also helps to ascertain that a stability is maintained at the vital positions of the organization, thus helping to successfully attain business goals. Career is a collective set of actions that a person takes a long term throughout his or her life. It can also be described as the occupational positions a person has had over many years. People may feel satisfied looking back on the careers they have had and knowing that what they might have achieved, they did achieve. Whereas there is a less unfortunate group of people who feel they could have made better use of their potential and thereby feel unsatisfied. Career planning is a conscientious process where a person becomes conscious of his or her interests, level of motivation, potential and other aspects pertaining to personality, becomes aware of opportunities and choices, specifies and identifies career related goals and devises an action plan to achieve those goals. Traditionally, succession strategizing has often taken a substitution method that focuses on the top strata job profiles. This kind of replacement approach in most cases is probably based on senior level recommendations for the most suitable ones and then placed on an accelerated path for immediate appointment into an executive post. However, for a better approach, a system should be used to renew an establishment human resource board to a narrow and wide level, recognize, review and create staff learning, aptitude and capacities to provide for the present and upcoming labor requirements of the firm, and guarantee a consistent flow of talent by enabling the staff to explore and evolve their abilities for nodal crucial profiles. So let's understand what is career management. The purpose of career management is that it makes sure others know about you and your worth. Even though career management is only one part of the 5 phases in our career development planning model, activities pertaining to career management have been given emphasis since it links to all the other phases. Likewise, career management is not something that happens at distinct intervals of the time, rather it is a constant process that takes its course throughout one's career. It can be instructive if one could think career management to have a philosophical aspect, seen as a way of life that will direct you to the goals you intend to achieve. Consistent practice of building up and maintaining new relationships involves constructive conversations regarding career development and information about the changing professional landscapes besides updating your career development plan in accordance with it. Setting new objectives is imperative to have A change in life and career for your sense of satisfaction are some of the ways to achieve a successful career management. Possessing basic skills in seeking out employment opportunities and effective handling of changes by enduring it are some qualities of being a person who is competent at career management. Advantages for the organization. There are a number of advantages for the organization and its employees through a comprehensive and well adopted career management program. Some of these advantages are staffing inventory. Successful career management can make sure that managerial professionals and technical talents are consistently delivered to meet organization goals. Next is staffing from within. Due to the potential benefits associated with recruitment from within the firm, whenever there is a vacancy, the firm is more likely to promote its employee to that position. However, a strong career management program is a prerequisite for any assurance of employees' effectiveness in the new positions. Job profile advancement before an employee's level of readiness to assume the new job can produce unsatisfactory results. Next is solving staffing problems. Through effective career management, certain staffing issues can be addressed. First, a high turnover rate can be expected, at least to some extent, due to the feeling that there is no growth within the company. Second, recruitment of fresh talents can be easier due to good employer reputation over the growth and development opportunities offered within the company. Next advantage is satisfying employee needs. The employees of the current generation are entirely different ideologically from those of past generations. The current generation has high expectation consistent with the higher levels of education. Many employers try to retain such vast talented pool by providing opportunities to meet their expectation. Next advantage is enhanced motivation. As career progress is directly linked to job performance, to have the career goals realized, an employee is likely to have high levels of motivation that enables him or her to perform at peak levels of one's capability. Last advantage which could be is employment equity. Career management promotes equity in recruitments, selection and appointment policies, and the removal of unfair and equitable practices concerning promotions and career mobility. There are formal provisions to promote and enhance career mobility of women and those who belong to the discriminated groups, including the development of career paths and the design of formal activities. Let's now discuss how career trajectory is evolved. Evolving a career trajectory has become a crucial aspect of a well-planned vision within organization. This kind of development and planning allows employee to enhance their knowledge and skills, utilizing their potential to further their careers while at the same time performing productive jobs for the organization they work in. Appropriately training current employees allows an organization to ensure it always has the right people to move into various positions as they become vacant. Such development programs show the organization's commitment to its employees and the wider community. Individual career development is a very structured process, often referred to as personal development planning. The progression involved is discussed, planned and timetabled to suit both the employees and the employer. While understanding the career development structure, We first understand and take up gap analysis. Under gap analysis, we identify key and critical jobs in the organization and their descriptions, determine required competencies for each job, profile the knowledge, skills and attitude needed for each job, assess candidates' competencies and conduct inventory of skills and preferences, create selection criteria and match them to candidate data. Conduct gap analysis, that is compare current KSA and future requirements related to set quality standards. Second step is career plans. Individualized career development plans are designed to address the skill gaps identified. The plans include the following: product skills, which comprise project work, on the job training, rotation and studying for a professional qualification. Managerial skills, which include leadership and soft skills, whereas life skills encompass cultural aspects such as attending conferences and engaging in extensive reading. Life skills, which include the combination of these areas, resulting in preparing a well-rounded individual for the challenges of today's business. Next step is monitoring. Under this, we establish a sound coaching and mentoring support group that monitors the candidate's career development. We set up a continuous review process to measure candidates' readiness to move into that prospective roles. And we include candidates in preparation of personal development plans and ensure that they regularly review, evaluate and modify their own progress. It is important to acknowledge that manpower development and the succession planning differs to some extent between organizations. In order to be accommodative of the varying degrees of needs and to accomplish uninterrupted progress of business, succession planning ought to be pliable and conformable for different organizational settings, assets and mindsets. However, to employ succession planning, a general structural framework is in place to be used as a guideline for such programs. This structure includes, let's take up step 1 now, analyzing key positions or groups. There are many ways in which we could define a key position or group. However, there are two vital elements that need to be considered. These are criticality, which implies that a profile remaining vacant is critical such that there would be a pertinent shock it imposes on the normal function of an organization's business. Efficiency, fiscal status, opinion of the general public, operational status of equipment, safety, etc. are some of the aspects where effects of such a shock could hold significance. Second is retention risk, which implies to those positions where an employee's departure is impending due to either retirement or resignation. Example, history of turnover. Keeping a close check through a bottom-up approach, a firm could analyze the number of positions that require planning on a short or long term. To identify such key positions or groups, a very useful tool such as the gap analysis could be used as part of staff planning, which we discussed. Information that could help to identify key position or groups includes current as well as prospective plans or goals, retirement age forecasts, median turnover rates, number of existing and upcoming vacant positions, and amendments to the present routines and related services. So, Important questions considering key groups or positions are: what positions, if left vacant, can be impediment to a company's target achievement and goals? What positions can directly impact the public? What positions are not easy to fill up because of the expertise required or because of impending exit of the present employee has a wealth of knowledge in the domain? Do we have an expected staff crunch for related expertise requirements? Would there be a requirement to form a strategy for the presently non-existent profiles? Step 2. Identifying competencies. Every job position requires an essential list of knowledge, skill set and capabilities that are anticipated of the employees filling their functional capacities. Therefore, to serve as a guideline in recruitments against potential contenders, it is imperative to have the knowledge of the core competencies of a job profile. However, with the current goals and objectives, succession planning offers a prospect to review the competencies of a position. Some ways to decide and enhance necessary competencies include reviewing the merit criteria, advisory of former and present job incumbents, knowing the client needs by interviewing them and interviewing their stakeholders, comprehensive review of job descriptions, advertisements, undertaking stressing on clusters and researches, assessment of any current growth plans, example leadership competencies, assessment of ethos. Even though working profiling forms a good initial phase for reviewing, it is equally important to consider other aspects mentioned above. Interviewing present incumbents offer a sufficient level of understanding of the core competencies required for the position. So, the important questions to be asked with respect to competencies are: what are the requirements for certain essential functional competencies that are relevant to a key job or group? What are the competencies that are relevant to the entire staff? And are the competencies in conformity with the firm's core values and goals? Step 3 is identifying and assessing potential staff. The idea behind identifying and assessing potential candidates is to direct them to an opportunity to learn and to develop, and thereby readying them for upcoming positions in the establishment after their selection by the executives for training. Due to the sensitive nature of the decision making process, the potential employee might be made aware in advance in private of his prospective opportunity for succession of job profile. This, however, is not a transparent process, and it can have a negative impact on the morale of peer employees and on the selected employee that can have a dampening effect of their relationship with the organization. In order to avoid such scenarios, modern approaches advise that accountability and transparency should be ideals for an organization. The elements factored in for recruitment are based on scholastic achievement, conduct and respect, loyalty, dedication, etc. In order to exhibit these values, there are several aspects that succession planning should be accounted for, and these must be objective, free of nepotism based on merit. Process should be communicated and be made clear to all employees. Transparency should be maintained throughout the process. In these conditions, a good point to start would be to permit self-identification, whereby employees can themselves come forward and show interest in certain positions. There are many methods an organization could adopt to find potential candidates from the list of interested candidates. These methods include creating a stock of employee competency or skills, conducting written assessments, interviews, reviewing CVs, performance assessment in the incumbent post, recommendation by seniors, skill set assessment, and employees discussing their career goals and objectives with their superiors. So, the questions helpful for the preparation of this step are: has there ever been any face-to-face interaction with the staff about their ambitions and goals? Is the staff well aware of their job advancement opportunity? Are the employees clear about the objective and the process of succession planning? Specifically, are they aware that the job advancement is not guaranteed to them? Are the candidates who were rejected for the present position aware that they could be reconsidered for future opportunities with requisite set of knowledge and skill set? Are the lateral moves or alternative career path in place for those who were rejected for the present position? How is the establishment planning to keep stock of employee skills? How would the potential employee contribute project organization's status of fairness and multiplicity? And there could be many more. Step 4 is knowledge acquisition and evaluation strategy. After screening out process and identification of prospective candidates, depending on their interest, their capabilities to succeed in the key positions, the organization should make sure that the selected staff has accessibility to knowledge acquisition and evaluation opportunities. The plans should be focused on closing the gap between the requisite competency and current level of knowledge and skill set. Modern succession planning is not about filling up a vacant position, rather it is about utilizing the learning and development opportunities to create a competent employee. So, let us now jot down some methods of knowledge acquisition and evaluation strategy. Assigning a job profile to improve candidates' competency through experiential learning. Job rotations. Developing formal training programs. An effective transfer of corporate knowledge to selected candidates through mentoring, guidance, and coaching. Documenting essential pieces of information. Conducting going away interrogations or exit interviews, and institutionalizing systems of structural behavior and practice, etc. Step 5 is implementation and assessment. A feedback mechanism in place through the assessment of succession planning is a way to make sure that the process retains in effectiveness by providing information. These are knowing the operational behavior of the processes, the connection between inputs, outputs, working and results, conformity of the system as compared to the intended objectives and goals, functional adequacies and inadequacies, a likely gap between assumptions and planning, cost effectiveness of the process and cost saving from the process. To gather and keep track of this information will make sure that a monitoring mechanism is in place for measuring its success and has a provision to change the process according to the organizational needs. So, the questions to be asked which will be helpful for evaluation and assessment are: Is the identification of all the key jobs complete? In addition, do all of them have succession plans in place? Are the newly appointed employees performing well as expected in their key positions? What are the consequential outcomes of skill acquisition and tutoring efforts? Is the staff willing to contend for vacancy in any nodal position? Does the staff group maintain diversity? And what is the margin of improvement in the succession planning system? It is imperative to monitor the succession planning process for its efficiency and effectiveness. Therefore, every succession planning should be conducted within a framework of feedback and assessment to measure its progress and success, and at the same time to support the change in process according to the organizational needs. So students, let's now summarize what we studied in this module. Contrary to popular belief, human resource development and succession planning are not newfound phenomena of managing human resources. Organizations have been struggling for decades to find a way to effectively and efficiently identify, promote and maintain talents. Then why this has become so important in recent years? With an early retirement age and broad talent gap, present day establishments are faced with higher demands in a highly competitive universal market. The conventional approach to succession planning cannot be relied in today's world for the reason that markets have become highly demanding, coupled with the need for speed and efficiency. To make sure that the process remains benefiting to the employee and to the company's strategy, it has become the need of the hour for the companies to upgrade their processes. Most firms have been unsuccessful to keep it as their utmost priority despite the number of benefits attached to a formal succession planning program. In this result-oriented world, to deliver on the intended performance standards, it is imperative that companies get the fundamentals correct by building an infallible system that invests in the essential resources and technological domain to inculcate a skill growth mindset. The companies, by launching a company-wide initiative, have been lauded by the top-level executives and have gained their support for strengthening the process and building a performance culture, supporting career management and succession planning initiatives and systems. Thank you.